Drawing, which is
What are you guys gonna do on Monday?
Sleeps!
Go to the Hegins Pigeon Shoot!
Yeah!
Tri-Valley area.
Snap a couple necks.
You guys gonna go to the what?
Pigeon Shoot!
Yeah, is that a good time?
Oh yeah!
What happens there?
You snap pigeons' necks. We become a protesters up.
Yeah, you watch the protesters.
You watch the
making it
protesters be a bunch of sissy animal rights activists.
And the KKK's there.
Yeah.
Love fights.
It's a heck of a time.
What else happens?
They shoot pigeons.
A lot of people get drunk.
A lot of
people get arrested.
A lot of people get arrested.
What are you doing? What else?
There's a lot of women there too.
Yeah, meet chicks.
Yeah.
Meet chicks? Snapping the heads off pigeons really turn on chicks?
That's really chicks dig that. Chicks dig that.
Yeah, that's tough. You gotta rip them real hard.
You gotta snap it. You gotta whip it.
It's all in the wrist, man.
You gotta be a pro at it. You gotta just swat. The chicks see that and they come running.
we failed to mention the head coaches and the assistant coaches for the...
If you've never seen this before, see they have what they call trapper boys. And they will take their pigeons and run them out to the traps and put them into the traps there. And when the shooter's ready to shoot, he will holler, pull, as he pull, he hollers, right? Pull. Then the trap will open and the bird will take off and he tries to shoot it.
For the last 62 years, the small village of Hegins, Pennsylvania, situated in the rural mountains of Schuylkill County, just about 75 miles northwest of Philadelphia, has been home to the world's largest live bird shooting contest, the Fred Coleman Memorial Pigeon Shoot.
Why are you here? All right, I'm David D. Cosmo with WYOU Television from Scranton, Pennsylvania. We've been covering the Pigeon Shoot every year for the past 6 or 7 years, primarily since it turned into sort of a nationwide controversy. Once we were alerted to the fact several years ago that a number of protesters would be here, we came down to see exactly what was going on. There's a great deal of interest in the shoot on one side or the other. Obviously, some people believe it's cruelty to animals. Others believe that it's an event that is justified and promotes a good cause because the money raised here goes to pay for the park in which they hold the shoot, a public park with a swimming pool and swings for the kids, things like that.
About 250 shooters come to Hegins every Labor Day from all over the country and compete for money and prizes, shooting over 5,000 birds in a single day. When the pigeon shoot first started in the 1930s, right after the Great Depression, the pigeon shoot served as a source of food for the community. The wealthy shooters would come into town and shoot birds, and the townspeople would collect them, cook them, and eat them. But for the past several decades, however, the pigeon shoot has served only as a source of entertainment for the thousands of spectators who pay money to attend and watch the event.
The shoot is not yet over. The champion will be Mr. Rick Boyer. We will continue to shoot for the runner-up trophy.
They're going to go over with each one of you how to break a neck. Most of you have done this before. This is not a shocking event. Remember, just like I'm standing here looking into a TV camera, you mess up and do something that embarrasses you, you will see it again on the nightly news, as will your parents.
Investigators from the Fund for Animals have documented that about 70% of the birds who are shot are not killed immediately, but only wounded. The pigeon shoot organizers hire young children, known as trapper boys, to collect the wounded birds from the shooting fields and to kill them either by wringing their necks or banging their necks against the sides of barrels.
This pigeon shoot costs the Commonwealth hundreds of thousands of dollars for police to support what is essentially a cruel and unfathomable activity. Most states have outlawed this right now. For some reason, Pennsylvania believes that this is sacred. It's not sacred, it's cruel.
The gravamen of our case is that the pigeons, after they are shot, many of them, over half of them, are not killed instantaneously, and instead they land basically somewhere on the field, out in the woods, in a wounded condition, and they are left to suffer from their wounds by the organizers of this event. And that is where the cruelty and the abuse and the neglect come in that are all prohibited by the statute.
In a way, we were glad for the protesters because they build up the business.
And it brings a lot of money into the area.
Yeah.
And as long as it's peaceful, we don't really want any violence, but we don't want them telling us what to do. As long as we're within the law, there's no reason we can't do what we want to do.
Right, here's the point, you know what I mean, like killing animals and stuff ain't the right thing to do, but I mean, you gotta look at the benefit, okay, and a lot of the benefit from this proceed of killing the pigeons, which are whatever, is a lot of it goes into the rescue truck. So, you know, the next time somebody's pinned in the car and they bring the jaws of life out that the pigeon shoot helped pay for, think to yourself what's more important, the person in the car that's trapped or the pigeon that got shot.
Well, I think what the natives in this town ought to do is get some backbone and stand up here about 6 deep with shotguns, and when they come, blast them. That's all right. We can protect our own property and we don't need the police to do it. The police is here to protect them, not us.
Well, I would rather see them, if they want to demonstrate about something, go and try to take care of these children and these unborn babies and fool with a pigeon, which doesn't do anything in the world for us except make things dirty.
I recognize the logo on your hat, but I'm not sure exactly what it does it represent anything?
It certainly does. It's the cross of Christ with the blood drop of Christ from his side, and if you'll notice, each part of the cross has a K on it. And you add 4 Ks up and that tells you the whole story. And we shop at the Kmart.
For guns, man. They'll start with one gun, then they'll go to the other guns. You won't be able to go hunting.
My go that 6 away from me. Does it make any difference to you that, like, they're from the Ku Klux Klan?
Not if it has to do with guns, man. I'm not prejudiced or anything, but when they're going to threaten to take away my guns, no way. I'm going to let them.
Hey, it's just, this is a shoot. I mean, what does the Ku Klux Klan have to do with the shoot?
There's a lot to do with the shoot. The right to have and bear arms is our constitutional
That's
right,
right, but what does hating blacks have to do with you being here?
I'm not out here hating black.
What's the whole idea behind it?
Are you an animal lover? Are you one of the activists for the animal?
It doesn't really matter what I am.
Yes, you are. I saw you last year. You're the lady that ran in and saved the pigeons.
I did not.
Yeah, don't give me that crap.
I did not.
I know you. Jesus. Get out there and jump out there when they're shooting a gun. I'd love to see it.
I am not. Either one.
Oh, yeah, don't give me that crap.
Don't
I know you.
Don't tell me to give me crap.
I'll look at my photograph
Go ahead.
file.
I
You'll be
invite
right
you
there.
to look at it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got one for you. Here, hold this. I got one for you. Hold on a second, buddy.
Oh, geez, that is scary.
I got my eye on you.
We're all impressed. Not only is he fat and disgusting, he's a racist.
If a bird is wounded and flies into the park, animal rescuers and shoot spectators race to see who will reach the bird first.
This year there's going to be no protest. We are focusing the attention back on the suffering of the birds.
So you are here to do exactly what today? How will you get the focus across, and what kind of physical action can you actually do to do that?
Okay, the physical action that's going on is there's going to be teams of rescuers that are roaming through the park trying to beat the supporters to the wounded birds when they fly back into the spectator area. If we get the birds first, they come back here and they receive veterinary treatment, follow-up veterinary care, and wildlife rehabilitation, and eventually the ones that can be returned to the wild will be returned to the wild. There's also teams of documenters on each field who are documenting the cruelty that takes place. They're going to be counting the wounded birds. That's all been part of the investigative effort, which we did last year also, fully documented that 58% of these birds are wounded and not killed outright.
It is. They say it could be dangerous because, you know, they're shooting in that direction. It's pretty far, and the chances are probably nil that anything would ever happen. But, you know, just to cover themselves, they don't want us back there. So you got to be careful if you're back there.
First of all, violations of the law are occurring. As you know, violations of 5511, those birds are being denied veterinary care. So I think that we should be able to get into the woods. It was my understanding there wasn't going to be a problem with that.
There wasn't, but I didn't know they had it posted.
All right, well, who wants to act as a negotiator to let us get back into the woods?
Next.
Come in, please. Peter, this is DJ. I've just been asked by the data collectors on field number 4 that a rescuer be sent over this area.
Don't yell at the kid too, didn't you? I did not hit the hell you didn't hit the kid! You put the kid into the window of the car! Don't tell me! You put that kid in the lift! You want to punch in the face? Punch me in the face! Come on, punch me in the face! Go ahead, punch me in the face! Come on! You're harassing us! I am not harassing you! Get out of here! You just put that kid out of here!
Right here. There he is.
Yep.
Right here. Right here's the kid.
Right here!
Don't smile. Don't smile.
What are you doing? Right here!
Here's the little kid right here that she...
Right here! Right here! My God, I'm cut here. I mean, all I was trying to do is get a bird. That guy there, the big guy, grabbed me, boy.
He didn't grab you.
Because I'll punch him. That's right, because I didn't want him to get in trouble, but she jumped on the little kid.
She just admitted she had to pull him off.
That's right. Because we know what kind of trouble goes on here.
She just said
I'll punch you right in the face and I'll go to fucking jail.
Hey.
I don't know, it's the culture clash. They're violent. This whole event just spells violence. They're violent to animals, they're violent to people. All I was trying to do was save a wounded bird.
Sir, been arrested for disorderly conduct.
He didn't do nothing. Yeah. What did he get arrested for then?
Disorderly conduct.
Why? Because he tore the pigeon's head off and almost took his eyes out.
Yeah.
That's freaking bullshit.
That's bullshit.
This is total bullshit.
If I had to give it to the protesters, if it weren't for them, I would have never heard of this. So, I mean, yeah, they attract some attention. That's what I come up here for. I'm here just to laugh at the protesters.
You're not here to look at the match. You don't.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess there's some kind of sport going on. I just want to watch a little of the action.
It seems for the most part there's a lot of people here in the exact category of spectator wanting to see what goes on. It doesn't seem to be that they're here to participate in shooting or to understand what the shoot is all about. It seemed to be more of an atmosphere of what's going to happen between the police, protesters, and participants.
So if this pigeon should happen to fall out of the air.
You got to put it out of its misery. You got to be humane.
Right.
Yeah.
So
wring his neck, anyways. See, what we'll do is we'll wring his neck and then take it over to the protester tent and see if they can fix that.
You want to take it over?
Yeah. Okay, I've got him. I need a breath.
Who's got banding? This one I think is probably not going.
This one? Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. You got him off the field though. What was it like to get the burn? What is it?
Awful.
Why?
She just dropped right in front of me.
And?
You could just tell she was suffering so bad.
No one ate it. Go yet.
She's in so much pain. And she was so scared of me.
Mike, Heidi.
Somebody have a towel.
We actually have a mini hospital situation in the van here, where after they get their initial treatments, they're allowed to stabilize, and then they're examined at 15 or 20-minute intervals to update their status. So several loads of animals.
They inject them. If one breaks his legs, they even give a cast. They got the toothpicks. They got this little ambulance and everything. What's up with that? What is up with that? They got little stretchers. Yeah, they're psycho.
That bird injured, Gordon?
Not getting grasping on the right foot.
I'm going to put some cups.
So there is paralysis to the right hind leg, right leg.
Okay.
He's got dirty fecal feet. No, his feet aren't too bad, but his feathers are really bad. Yeah, the feathers are frayed. Tail feathers are dirty. So you should be decent.
Many of these birds have not been flying in a while, if that's what you mean, and as evidenced by very poorly developed pectoral muscles, which are their flying muscles. So a lot of these birds haven't been flying in a while. We're seeing a lot of emaciation and dehydration, indicating that these birds have not been well cared. Also, we're seeing lice, a lot of bumblefoot, which is an infection of the feet from standing in unclean ground. In this case, it would be standing in dirty cages. And in some cases, we've actually seen accumulation of fecal matter so heavily built up you can hardly even recognize the foot of the bird. It's just full of caked on fecal matter. So these birds have not been well cared for.
I don't care. I would shoot anything. Well, I wouldn't shoot anything, but I'd shoot like animals, like pigeons. Pigeons, because pigeons are, I mean, they can ruin your, like, if you have an apartment and stuff. They are rats with wings. Yes, if they poop on your air conditioning, you can get this disease that will kill you. And if you had a little kid in your house, would you like that?
And basically what you have to get sick from a pigeon is a scenario where the droppings dry without sunlight for at least a year, become airborne as spores, are inhaled, and then the person who inhales them has to have an immune system which is not functioning properly. Now, it is not impossible, it's just highly unlikely.
Do you guys feel sorry? You guys don't feel sorry for the pigeons at all?
Just a little bit. Like ones that get hurt and then they die painful. I like when they get killed right away so that there's no pain.
Yeah, I feel sorry for them because all the trapper boys think it's cool because if they don't die right away, they get to rip their heads off and stuff.
That's gross.
Do you hear a lot of bragging afterwards and in school?
Yeah. They tell you how many pigeons they got. Mm-hmm. And they telling you how it looks after they rip the heads off.
They do.
And are these qualities that girls look for in boyfriends?
No. Not really.
Anybody should be able to look at this. Anyone who has a heart and who has a brain and see that this is wrong. There are better ways that someone can make money or entertain themselves than shooting and wounding thousands of animals. It's Labor Day. Most people have picnics or go to the beach. They don't have to wound animals for entertainment.
What's the name next? About 150. Want me to count them?
And we can buy all of them?
You
we
can
don't don't have that much money left. We had to pay a lot of
Oh, come on.
I'll give you $200 for all of the rest. What are you going to do with them?
Taking on a barber next week.
I told them I'd give them $300. They won't accept that. But then you go look at their little faces sticking out there.
You did.
You want $800?
We give them to you all.
It'd be hard for us to justify providing you $800. Would you take $400 for them?
No.
Why not?
No, we can sell them.
The answer is no. We can sell them for $800 to somebody else. We don't have to transport them.
Then you don't want them. Then forget it. We'll let it go.
You want to pay $800?
I'm just trying to make a deal. I'm trying to get some pictures out.
The deal is made. $800.
I don't know the deal.
Don't worry. If you want to buy it, we don't have the time for it. Please go.
Get us a deal.
No, the deal is $800. That's it.
$800 not a deal.
We told Heidi 4.5. We want 800.
Let me try it one more time. $800. That's it. Not negotiated. Not up, down, middle, nothing. That's it.
Why not?
It's not. Because 2 minutes.
Mr. Tobash, she wants to buy these pigeons from you.
From me?
Yes, they're
I'm
yours.
buying them from you.
They're yours.
They're mine now.
They're
Okay,
yours.
well, it's $800.
$960.
I need a receipt.
Mr. Tobash, Heidi would like a receipt.
Huh?
Mr. Tobash, Heidi would like a receipt.
How much is it?
800 for you and 160 for me.
Made out like that?
How you figure? What is that?
$960.
$960.
We mean it like a bandit. Who said that?
Are you serious?
Okay, you got the money?
Blood money. Count it.
I know, right? You're right. It is blood money. Completely.
Still green.
They totally took advantage of our hearts by forcing us to buy these birds, and I can't say forcing because we had the option, but when you look at those birds in the crates and they're doomed, what are you going to do? It was like terrorist tactics. So we bought the birds, and yes, there's some controversy over giving Hegins money for the birds, but now looking where they live at Farm Sanctuary and their lives, it was worth every penny.
Wait a minute.
Labor Day is only a small part of the overall campaign against pigeon shoots in Pennsylvania. We are working in the courts, we are working in the legislature trying to pass a law to ban live pigeon shoots. We've been working with every government official in the state of Pennsylvania to get them to enforce their own codes, which they won't. But this wall is crumbling and it will end.
It's just, as the head of the shoot says, if they make it illegal, then we'll stop it.
What would you do instead?
Well,
like the car show and community day and craft fair. There's other things we can do if we have to, but this is a big money maker here.
Every community in the United States can think of ways to raise money that don't involve maiming animals.
I know.
Yeah, what a pretty bird. He just really fell out of the sky. It was really sad. Look how pretty he is.
No.
He's in very village.
He just fell. He can't fly, and he just fell right out of the sky.
Yes, I think probably
He's going to be a goner.
Yeah.
Did he die?
He's dead. Yep, he's dead. He's
Yeah, I believe he is.
dead.
Jason, snare drums. Jason, quads. John, tuba. Nate, trumpet. Trumpet. Hi, Mom.